Thank you for the invitation. So what I would like to do is give you a brief overview about those new reimbursement possibilities that were created in Germany for digital health applications very recently. First of all, just on a side note, 2 sentences about the Health Innovation Hub. So we are we are not part of the Federal Health Ministry, but we are the Federal Health Ministry's think tank on digital health. So what we're doing is supporting them in developing a regulatory framework and informing the communities and stakeholders and etc. And so we were very involved in the development of the criteria for the reimbursement of digital health applications, and we still support in removing all the issues that we encounter now that they are part of reality. And of course, as you would have guessed, there are many issues because it's never as easy as you would have expected. So I think you should now be seeing a slide with a title. Yes, I see someone nodding, which is basically an overview, because so what we did is, or what the legislator did in Germany is creating a specific path for the reimbursement of digital health applications. You may know that we do have a insurance-based system in Germany with about more than 100 public health insurances and a couple of private health insurance systems, and sort of the holy grail is being part of the global reimbursement scheme that then applies to all the public health insurances, because then you will be then this service or this product will be covered for the roughly 73 million Germans or people living in Germany that are covered by this system. So this is the market we're talking about, and what has been introduced is the reimbursement of DiGA, digital health applications, digitale Gesundheitsanwendungen. So what are those? Those are medical devices of a low risk category, class 1 or 2A. No matter if it's MDR or if it's a medical device directive. They can, and that's a real novelty, after they have met a certain set of criteria with regards to data privacy, data security, quality, functionality that are being checked by the BfArM. BfArM is the Federal Institute for Drugs and Medical Devices in Germany. Once they are checked by the institute for that basic criteria, they may join the DiGA registry, so the list that makes them eligible for reimbursement, even up on a hypothesis of their benefit. So that's a real novelty. So digital health applications may become eligible for reimbursement either immediately by providing the evidence that they do deliver positive care effects, or by providing a concept for evaluation and a sound hypothesis for the positive effects they're going to deliver. So that's a real novelty. So they can be used in standard care by physicians and psychotherapists from day one. So psychotherapists and physicians are going to prescribe these digital health applications to their patients. So they are really targeted at patients, and then patients sort of interacting with their healthcare professionals. So we are not talking about software or devices that support physicians in their everyday work, but we're talking about many mobile health solutions, but possibly also solutions. We are going to see some in the fields of VR or AR that will actually run on other type of platforms. And they can describe them to their patients, just like they're prescribing medication. And so depending on the fact if it's permanently listed, if it's a permanently eligible digital health application for reimbursement, or on a trial basis, there will be then at the end of the trial period, of course, a final decision by the Federal Institute for Drugs and Medical Devices. And in total, it's a big difference, because the process has been really accelerated. So the process at the BfArM takes roughly 3 months, while in comparison, a procedure at the Federal Joint Committee, that is the committee that decides what kind of services are reimbursed and added to the catalog of the standard care that is provided to all people living in Germany in the public system, that usually takes 3 years or maybe even more time, because they do an assessment from scratch and they have it done by someone else. While here you come with your dossier, with your documents, with either your study results or your study concept and your evaluation concept, and all the criteria that you have checkmarked. Maybe before I finish my part, and just a few more sentences about the pricing, which of course is very interesting. The manufacturers, so the DiGA manufacturers, they have the possibility to set a price for the first year, so for the first 12 months. After that, the price will be negotiated by the National Organization of Statutory Health Insurance Funds and the manufacturer. So right now we see prices, I will share the link later so you can have a look. You see prices for products, for example, in the field of e-mental health, management of obesity, or in the field of insomnia, that are in the range of 450 euros for 3 months, which is not little, definitely, but we are also very sure that the prices will decrease once they have been negotiated finally. And I think I'll leave it at that, and looking forward to questions and discussion with you.
Julia, thank you very much. That was very interesting. You jumped to at the end there in terms of price, which was where I was going to ask my question, is what price are some of these sort of solutions being reimbursed for, and which you've sort of guided us towards some of that answer. What about across Europe in terms of comparisons in price? So clearly, that's an issue in terms of, the drug regime that we have in place in most of the countries. And it's very controversial in North America at the moment, of course. But how does it relate to these apps that we're talking about, these solutions that we're talking about? And then how does it play, for example, in the United Kingdom, we have NICE, as a regulatory or as an authority that sort of helps in that process. Is there coordination that's beginning to occur across the European countries?
Well, I think so in terms of prices, it very much depends. I mean, we've seen with Scott's example that depending on the healthcare system, it might function in a completely different way. Whereas a public system will simply provide the service to its citizens, where we do have an interesting, another approach. We've seen, for example, a comparable solution that we could call a DiGA or digital health application in Germany is part of the catalog in France. That's a solution for the monitoring of patients with lung cancer, and sort of in the post-treatment to manage if they have fallbacks, I don't know, récidive, that's what it's called in French, apologies. So when they risk to fall back into a worse condition, and that's a pretty simple but simple monitoring solution that tracks some of the relevant vital parameters on the basis of a questionnaire. And it works apparently tremendously because they have shown big effects on very relevant clinical endpoints. And that product is at, if I'm not mistaken, at roughly 1,000 euros for 6 months, which is, I mean, it all depends on what value you put on what kind of effects. And I think the relapse is the word. Yes, thank you. And so I think it's the prices we see right now, they are set by the manufacturers. So I think they are not really representative for what we're going to see after the price negotiation. And also both manufacturers and health insurances are incentivized to set up pay for performance models. And that's that's a first in the German healthcare system as well. Usually we don't have pay for performance,
Right.
which is of course sad. And so we hope that the digital health applications will bring some change into the system by pushing pay for performance models as well, and yeah, just allow people to gain some experience with that, because we're at the very beginning in Germany, at least.